When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
Cassie and I have a topic for you today. We are going to talk about a few things, but overall, how to change to make the law of attraction work for you. There's going to be a few subtopics in there, but we'll get into that.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm always excited.
I know, because you're always excited. What are you most excited about right now?
My clients, we just had our Future Self Cocktails and Money Manifested shoot last night, and so I'm just like still on the extra high of that. It was amazing. Like, they all looked amazing. They looked like their future selves. We had so much fun at Future Self Cocktails, and just followed inspiration for that, which was really fun. And just like getting to watch them. Like, one of my clients, like, because, she just hadn't added up her stuff in like a month or something. And she like leaped. Like, it was like, which this happened the last time we were at an event. Like, she got a new contract, new offer. And so like we counted it, like she got it like while we were at the castle. And so we counted it. And then today she was like, or yesterday we're like adding it up, and she's like, oh, and then there was this, and then there was this. And so she crossed not just the 100K mark, but 110K mark yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. So one more person in the 100K club, which was so fun. And it's so fun to celebrate all of it, right? Whether it's 100K or it's 20K, like, it was just seeing them in their future selves and step into their future selves and get to play and take beautiful pictures. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got a picture from Cassie with all done up in the makeup with the I got toried up. I love it. The makeup artist. I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, she's got to like tag that. She's got to claim that line.
Right. I told her, I was like, oh, Jenny and I were texting. Here's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was so fun. Yeah. And it was just so great. And we actually, one of my clients, her daughter ended up needing to come and wanting, but also just she needed a different space to be in. And it was fun. So she practiced with us, and she did, she just graduated high school, and how exciting that was. And we toasted her as well. And so that's fun, because for me, that's I love kids, and I love the impact that when you change a parent's life, like the impact it has on a kid, or inviting kids to that table and letting them learn how to become their future selves.
I agree. That's what it's all about. That's like half of not half, it's a whole bunch of the inspiration for us taking this ownership and responsibility in our lives, is being those leaders for the kids that are around.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And it's so fun.
That's awesome. And a shout out to all of our listeners who have kids graduating. I know a whole bunch of my clients do. So we are celebrating all of that. That's lots of fun. And I know big times and celebrations in people's lives. So that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to
all of the graduates. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. So fun. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about my clients too. I'm excited about where everything's going with the Live Your Truth community, how it's all coming together, the founding members that are in there now, and we're getting it going. And I spoke with a client the other day, and when we started working together, it was like, I hate my job. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's go through the process. And she just, like, you wouldn't believe what she's writing in her stuff about her days now. Like, I'm so grateful for another amazing day. I love my life. The next day, I'm so grateful and appreciative for another amazing day. I had the perfect day at work. And that's the kind of power. And I'm realizing as I'm like putting together this community, how that is so much of the core of what living your truth is about like owning the way, like being deliberate, but like following your true calling, like doing what you really want to do in life. And it's evident in everything and all the people, the courses, everything that, and work with us. Like that's what happens is you come into alignment, you learn your power, and then you do what you really want to do in life, and it lights you up and it fills you up. And that's amazing. It's the most satisfying thing. That's why we're here. And so I'm excited about being able to offer that, like the place for that for more people and just for more people to experience that. So that's exciting.
It is exciting. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I thought of a story remind me that I wanted to share. Speaking of kids and manifesting and
Yes.
just their natural abilities.
Yeah, they are master manifestors.
They are. Well, and they also like learn. So, and it reminded, I'm just going to tell it now because it reminded me when you said like how your client was, I hate my job. And now she's like, she's so grateful. And, we know like the process, there's a shift in what you're focused on and what you're paying attention to. Right. And, kids, there's, special 4-year-old in my life and he's like, I realized this the other day. I'm like, he so gives the example of you can like focus on whatever, right? So we can be really upset, but then it's like, oh, like this morning it was like, I want to pack this lunchbox, right? Like he was really super sad until he realized like, oh, but that means I can pack this color lunchbox today.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing.
And it's so like where we choose to stay and where we choose to focus. And when we're kids, our focus can easily be shifted. I mean, that's literally a parenting technique is to redirect, right? If this is going not well, like redirect to a different place. And that's this deliberate creation right there is, like, what can I be excited about? Okay, I'm upset about this, but what is exciting and what is fun today?
Yeah. And that's it's so easy for kids because they're so in the present moment. Like they are present, they're focused on whatever they're focused on. So all of a sudden, if they can't, wear the color pants they want, but then in the next second, they're like, oh, but I get this lunchbox. They are not holding on. Like they're gone. The pants color is gone and they're fully excited about the lunchbox. But it's such a good example of like why presence is important. So we're not carrying all of our stories about what happened 2 minutes ago or 2 weeks ago or 20 years ago with us in every moment. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's a whole
I wanted to slow down. No, I don't think it was another topic. As I was listening to you first, I was like, everyone should be writing down these points. Because that is what presence is, right? It's about being in that moment. And because when we are there, and like you said, you don't have the story, like it's different. You can see reality for what reality is. You can choose to be excited, right? Instead of having to carry that and think that, oh, I still have to feel this certain way I felt 20 years ago. Yeah. And I think this plays into how to change yourself and the identity of what makes the law of attraction work and how to change so that the law of attraction works for you.
Yes.
This might be a great place to start.
Yeah. To add on to that point of presence is when you're present, you're not in your head. So you guys, and I am very familiar with doing something and thinking something else, right? Like driving for me, if I'm not aware, I'm just totally thinking about something else. Or if I'm walking the dogs and I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner, that's not present at all. And so it's kind of like two realities. It's talking about you have this reality going on in your head all the time, and then you have the reality that is happening physically in this time outside of you. And when there's a disconnect there, like it doesn't allow for your greatest experience. It doesn't allow for the feelings of fulfillment and joy because they always come in those present moments.
Right? I just had this visual, I don't know why, like somebody walking the dog but thinking about dinner and passing these billboards that are like advertising their dream job. But like they never apply because they don't see it because they're in their head about, oh, what's for dinner? What's next? What am I doing tomorrow? What do I have to get the kids to? What do I do this? What do I do that? Right?
Absolutely. Because you can't see it. You can't get that inspiration to turn and look your head up because you're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Ooh. I know, right? Speaking of, I have a great inspiration story. We mentioned Tori earlier, who's one of our favorite makeup artists in the Denver area. And I needed to run out and I wanted to get, I needed to get something for one of my clients' future self. And so it was at a store, but I didn't know which specific thing I needed. And I'm like, Tori doesn't answer her phone. Like, I know she's present with her client. She doesn't answer her phone, but I'm still going to try. And I'm like, she's going to, and she did, and she answered it, and I got my question. I came back, and I was totally surprised. She goes, I don't know what made me answer it, but like, just, I was like, oh, I should look at that, you know? And it's, and it's because like, she was 100% present where she was. Yeah. That intuition of like, oh yeah, look over there. Don't just ignore it, you know, like normal. Was there, which was, I think that's a great example too of like, you know, you can't have that inspiration to look up or to answer the phone or to stop at a different coffee shop or walk the dog a different way if you're always in your head, you know? I love this example of going for a walk because it is so powerful. And it's one of the ways, I don't even know if you know this, but it's one of the ways I started like just honoring and training my intuition was just walking outside and which way do I want to go? Like, and really just, okay, down this street, this left, this right, you know?
I love that. I love that practicing in cars too. Like when you, it's because you can, if you don't have some, you know, some specifics of I have to be at this place at this time, you're just going for a drive or you have some extra time, just practice, like use that as a tool. Say, I'm just going to listen to what I'm in, you know, listen to what I'm called to. So I'm going to turn this way, or I'm going to go a little slower here. I'm going to go a little faster here. I'm going to let this car in front of me. Like, just use it as a practice to tune in, to start to listen and hear that stuff or feel that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so obvious because I walk the dogs every day, that I can either have an enjoyable experience, and I've talked about this with my clients as well. It's like when, you know, the dogs are pulling or they want to go this way or there's some reason they're annoying. It's never about them. They're always the same, you know, and it's all about like what your state of being is. And so it's a great example for when you go out in the world and you're interacting with humans. It's not about like this person was mean to me or that person was nice to me. It's like what kind of state of being was I in to attract that, but assess it that way, you know, and label it that way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what state of being was I in to assess it or label it that way?
I love the words that come out sometimes.
I know, me too. I always love when you do this to me too. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. That was like really, but that's it, right? Where was I that I labeled it, you know, such and such way that contributed to me having a bad day, or that I labeled it such and such way that contributed to a better day.
Right. And this is the basis, guys, for developing the self-awareness to how you create your reality. Because until you understand that, until you experience that, you observe yourself in these different ways and what you get back, you don't actually understand that you create your reality. So...
yeah. I was thinking about that. Oh, go ahead.
You go.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was thinking about that this morning, where I had like 2 different experiences with massage therapists at this one place. Mm-hmm. And this one, I was going to this woman and she seemed like she was good. Like I liked the way she worked on me, whatever. And I said something once. I was like, I'm going to have to schedule a 2-hour massage. And she was like, oh, that would be like so much work. And I was kind of like, what? And she's like, just like, there's a lot. And I was like, oh, does she think she's like, I don't know what she thinks she's doing when she's massaging me, but she must like energetically think she's responsible for a lot or doing a lot. I don't know. I was just like, and I was like, and I didn't take it. Like, I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. This is your stuff. Because I'm like, I was just like, huh, okay, cool. I won't schedule that massage.
Yeah.
And like it was, you know, there was different days that I would go. And so then I had also like the next time I went, I had this guy and I'd had him before. At the end of the massage, he's like, it is so amazing to work on you. You're so light and happy and just like everything is amazing. Like he's like, I just love working on clients like you that love their life. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
it is interesting.
You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Firstly, side note, why are you going to see any other massage therapist than the one that you have that I love?
Right. I love Jason. He comes to my house. He was here last week. It's only Jason now, but this was a couple years ago.
Okay. But that is,
yes.
That's a really good example of how I love how you didn't you're like, oh, that's not my stuff, because you know where you're at. Right. And so, yes, we're walking out in the world and it's, your experience is a reflection of what's going on within you. But it doesn't mean if you observe someone negative that you're asking for that or you're putting something out. Like, that's your space to say, because you are so in tune with what's going on within you. You're like, oh, you can see that it's their stuff, how they respond to you. This is interesting. I don't know if it's a little side note, but I want to just go into it. So when we get feedback from people, so this idea of like, hey, give me your opinion on this. How do you feel about that, Cass?
Oh my gosh. There's so many things I can't even like answer that in one. Like,
okay.
Well, first of all, I mean, you know what all my things are, but do you want me to say how I feel about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, just like, first of all, why are we seeking other people's opinions? Right. And sometimes, and there's a fine line, right? Like there's hey, do you see something I'm missing here? Right. When you're self-aware enough, but there's some intuition that's like, but maybe I can't see my own forest for my trees today. Right.
Yes. I think that's a good point to make. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is not an opinion. Like someone's opinion is literally like, I'll have to look at the definition, but it's their point of view, right? It's their
I think this is my judgment.
Right,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if you're asking for someone else's, first of all, asking for that without qualifying like a million things about who you are, who you want to be, what you want to attract, and all this, like people's opinions don't matter. Like what guidance I think maybe that's the key, is like to separate opinion from guidance or coaching or help me see this differently, help me pick it apart, right? Is all different than give me your opinion. And when you ask someone for your opinion, they'll give it to you.
Well, people love giving their opinions.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I think the reason I brought this up is just because this idea. So firstly, if you're not set in who you are, don't ask for people's opinions, because they're going to really then affect you, because you're going to be pulled in this way and pulled in that way, and you're going to get just even more confused.
Yes, say that again. If you're not set in who you are, don't ask for people's opinions.
Just get set. Get solid. Get grounded in who you are and what's important to you, your truth. And I think the reason I wanted to just tie this in briefly is because this idea of when other people are offering their thing, it's always about where they're coming from. So if you're asking for feedback, it literally, like, it's their perspective, it's coming from their vibration. And so know that if you're going to ask for feedback or ask for an opinion, just have that awareness of like, you're going to get something from their perspective about you, and they are most generally unrelated. They don't know like what's best for you. So just step back from that. Don't just tie into or believe or just jump on board with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does. And I want to add one thing, and then I want to go a little deeper into, so you said it comes from their perspective, their vibration, and I would add their experience.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Right. And so
let's give an example.
So perspective, right? It's how they see the world. So if they see, let's just say internet marketing is hard, then they're going to like give you an opinion that says like, that's going to be hard. It's not going to work. It's this, you have to do this. It takes so many hours. It takes so much money. Right.
Yeah.
Or if they have a perspective, I want to do the other one, right? Where they're like, yeah, that's great. It's so easy. It was the easiest way to make money. It was awesome. It was all these things, right? I loved it. I found my niche. I did all these things. And the thing about either of those is you still don't know like whether they tie into what you want.
Yeah.
Right? It has to tie into who you are and what you want.
Yeah.
So,
which is why it's so important to clarify who you are and where you're going and what you want.
Which is why I didn't, So it's going to come from perspective. Do you want to do vibration? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to give another example. Like, say if we're in the dating world and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for something. And I asked one friend who has been on Tinder, and the first person they met turned out to be like, they're in a long-term relationship now. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, totally use Tinder. You should definitely do that. It's a great experience. Whereas somebody else who's been like, I date guys like on and off there. I hate it. It's so frustrating. They're going to give you their perspective. So, and listen, feel their vibration versus the words. So someone might say, oh yeah, it's hasn't been good for me, but it might work for you. Even though they're saying, hey, yeah, sure, try this. They're like, it was awful. That's what they're saying in their vibrational information. So be aware.
Yes. I was just going to add a little more to perspective for that, right? It also, like, so much. This is why, like, unless you're set with who you are and you know what you're asking. This is what I coach my clients, and I'm sure you do too, is like, it's not like they don't get to ever ask me my opinion because my opinion doesn't matter.
I know.
I'm like, and then, like, what's your opinion on this? I don't know. Why are you asking? What do you actually want to know? What does this have to do with your life? Like, so my opinion matters not here, right? Which it doesn't. Like, my opinion, even for my clients, doesn't matter. It's where am I coaching them to? Like, what's their question? How can I support them to get there? Yeah. And I just wanted to give an add-on a little bit about the perspective, just to even paint more of a picture. When someone's coming from a certain perspective, you don't even know what their intention was when they started, right? Their perspective is based on their intention. So somebody, who just wanted to have fun could have a very different perspective than somebody who is looking for long-term commitment, right?
Right.
And so then their experience is shaped by that. And when you say, should I try Tinder? You're, without saying, we could do this at the end or we could do this now, right? Like, hey, I want to go have fun. What was your experience with Tinder and fun, right?
Yeah.
Versus, what do you think I should do it?
Right. So if you guys find, this is such a great key and like a really practical way for you to apply it. If you catch yourself asking yourself that question and then wanting to express that to friends or a circle or a group or something, this whole, should I do this? What do you think of this? State your intention first. If you do want feedback, this is my intention. I want to have fun. What has your experience been? And when I always love it when my clients, I just want to go back and comment when my clients say, well, like, what do you think? And I'll be, I'll say the same thing. Usually it's, my opinion doesn't matter. But sometimes when I'm coaching, I'll be like, okay, I'm like, I want to share my opinion for a second, but remember, this is an opinion. And then we're going to get back to the facts. So to really separate and have that experience too of there's a big difference. Like, I use law of attraction principles. They are not my opinion. When you feel this, you get this kind of thing. And so, but yeah, I have opinions about things.
Oh, I definitely have opinions. And I will share like that too, is like, oh, well, like, this is from my experience, what I think and what I do in this situation. It actually just happened yesterday. One of my clients was like, should I count this money thing? And I'm like, I would, but that's me. But you get to choose what feels good that goes in your manifested journal,
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was going over this with my master's group this week about how to most supportively, how to create that group and community support without coaching other people or saying what they should do. I have a lot of uplifters and coaches in there. And so it was like, okay, so share your experience, but really, really understand this is an opinion versus what's calling you, what's inspiring you, and that kind of idea. And I think that's so important. And we do that. Cassie and I foster that in the Manifest It Now Facebook community. And you guys will notice that posts get deleted if they don't fit into that, or if you're going off, or so it's creating that space, and it's going to be different than I would say 95% of the groups that you're going to find out there in the digital world.
Yeah. Because most places are just people asking for their opinion. I mean, this is difference between being deliberate and just sort of going and defaulting is that you're conscious. You're not just asking for other people's opinions. You're not ping-ponging, or not ping-pong. Oh man, what's the game with the flippers? Pinball. And like, what is it? Like, I feel like a lot of people just pinball asking other people's opinions. Bing, 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 all over. And I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to go this way, because they're not rooted in that. And a huge difference in a strong, deliberate creator is that they don't ask for other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Because
they will still
they're so rooted.
Yeah, they will ask for reflections or different things.
Yep.
But they won't say, what do you think I should do?
Exactly. Which is really what we're saying by opinion.
Yeah. Do you think, I'm just trying to think if I ever ask that. I mean, I
go
back to
my head. Oh.
The dress? The dress?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Totally. And so that's a great example, because I clearly remember not being rooted, like not honoring what I wanted. Even though I knew it, I wanted someone to confirm it. And so
yes.
But Cassie knows better than that. And so and so that was when I did, and I was like, hey, what do you think of this? What's your opinion? That's what I wanted. And then reflecting back, it was because how would I describe that? It wasn't that I didn't trust myself, but I knew, but I wasn't acting. I wasn't being the person that trusted herself in that case. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's true. Like, it's not that they don't forget or ask for opinions, but they're more looking for that reflection. It's more the like, help me see what I'm missing in my, like, not missing as if something's wrong with you, but like missing in your story, or where am I missing like the deliberateness, or where could I be more of the person? They're looking for that type feedback versus, you should do this, or you should start this business, or you should do that.
Right. And I think another element to that is there's not, when you're very deliberate, you're conscious of who you're being in that, you're asking for an opinion or advice or, reflection. And the second part of that is that you take it, you don't just blindly believe it. You take it in, and then you decide, does that work for me? Does that resonate with me? Does that feel good with me? Is that the direction I want to go? And so gathering, because there's nothing wrong with gathering information, but you have to have a measuring system for if you want that to be true for you, or you want to take that on into your identity, which it segues perfectly.
I know.
Into our next week's show now.
Yes, I love it. I just want to touch a little bit on experience right before we wrap up. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just giving like another perspective of vibration, just how abundant are they, or how successful are they, or how happy they are. That vibration is always going to impact their answer, right? Because they created a situation to have an opinion on based on that. And then just their experience, right? And we all have different experiences. And so no two people's paths are the same. And so just acknowledging that, like, asking for an opinion versus like, hey, what's your experience? Like, what's your experience actually lets you know who that person is and maybe why they loved it and why they didn't, right? And so then you can see, oh, I'm more like this, so that totally makes sense, right? And you extract that, because experience is always going to impact the opinions that we give.
I love that. I love that question. Like, what was your experience? Instead of what is your opinion? What do you think?
Yeah. Me too.
That's great.
All right, now we can wrap it up and we can talk about identity next week.
All right, well, we will see everybody next week.
Bye.
Go be awesome. Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.